Nobody's winning.
Nobody's winning. The society fucked you up. Your parents fucked you up. Now the judge is fucking you up. So it's like, it's just fuckery all over the place. And it's like, at what point do you win in society? It really depends on the kind of parents you come into this world with and the surrounding that you are brought up.
You're now listening to the Real African Unity podcast with our hosts, Daring and Ayo, where they'll be discussing various topics that affect our African diaspora. With these conversations, they aim to hopefully bridge the gap between us African Americans with the Nigerian diaspora. They will dismantle the myths and share a new perspective. Please sit back, relax, listen, and enjoy the conversation.
All right, people, welcome to another session of Real African Unity podcast, live from City of Brothers, Philadelphia.
Yo, the brotherly love.
I love Philly, bro. I don't know why. I think it's
Because
from.
we won the Super Bowl, that's why.
Anyway, on Super Bowl, shout out to some Nigerians that plays for
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles.
I've
forgotten his name right now.
But shout out to you.
I think he's presently in Nigeria now.
Oh, he is?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
nice.
visited the president of Nigeria. I saw it on the news.
Oh, beautiful.
Dude was so proud to be an African. Like he displayed Nigerian flag right there on
right
the
there
field.
on the field in Louisiana, right?
Louisiana. Is it
Yeah.
New Orleans?
New Orleans,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. So, hey, bro, we're proud of you too.
Yeah,
So,
we are. And you're repping too, so that's what's big.
Yeah. Congratulations to the birds.
Go Birds.
Go birds, go birds, go
It's
birds.
such a, oh man, that day was Valentine's Day, I think. Yeah, Valentine's Day, they had their parade.
Yeah, the
And
week before, right?
The week before this week.
Yeah, I mean the week before, the week after they won.
won,
Yeah.
right. Philly was shut down. Oh my goodness. Everywhere you just saw Eagles. It's crazy.
I am so proud of them.
Yeah,
because I've seen them. I love to see people grow, and I saw them lose to the Chiefs 2 or 3 years back now. And what made them lose basically was because their defense was not good enough.
Exactly.
But they had nice friends. This time they
were not playing games. They said you are being shut down. They spank.
I was looking at this dude, Mahomes. He was like, so. A friend of mine called me and said, like, oh, bro, they sold this, man. I'm like, they didn't sell shit. Why is Mahomes playing like this? I said, the defense got him unlocked.
He could not do anything.
He could not do anything.
They were coming after him. He was running around. He didn't know what to do.
I looked at, I said, this cannot be scripted. There was, I think, in the second quarter or something, when he tried to throw the ball, then one of the Philadelphia Eagles
intercepted,
dived and caught it.
Yeah.
Like he
dived.
He dived literally, and
that kid is a rookie, right? Right,
because he cannot land it like this, right? So he turned.
Crazy.
Cover, man.
Crazy.
That is what we call championship performance.
This, to be honest, for me, the Super Bowl win, right? Yeah. It was symbolic for a couple of reasons. One, there was a lot of, again, they lost to the same team years back. And then there was a lot of players that went through some sort of adversity. Like Saquon Barkley, he used to play for the Giants. He was demanding himself more money. And then the Giants said, oh, you think you're worth this much? We're not going to pay you this amount. But you're free, since you're a free agent, to go and see your true value. Then he came to the Eagles. Eagles gave him more than what he was asking for in New York. And then look at what they got out of him. They got the best performance out of him. And that it symbolizes so many things. One, know your value. go to where you're appreciated, not where you're
And
tolerated.
you have something to prove.
And then you
Now
have
I'm
something
gonna
to
show
prove.
you
Now I'm
what-
going to show you what I was
what
trying
I'm
to tell
made of.
you
That you refuse
that
to
you
do.
refuse to listen to. And honestly, I can relate with that.
Yeah.
I lived in New York my whole life.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this rat race, working 2 jobs, making money just to pay my landlady that's just sitting on her ass smoking cigarettes. I'm like, it's time for me to get a new environment. I just decided, you know what? Let me go to Philly. It's close to the everything else, that side. You know, let me take a chance on myself.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. This city, the love that's here is real.
It's real.
It's not film trick.
I'm telling you, it's real. I know I've said this before in one of our episodes, and I said my love for Philly is started off of me just watching American movies. You know, I never knew much about it. I just saw it. I wasn't born here, so I didn't know. But it's just of me watching it on TV.
Right.
Now, the first time I came to US, I didn't come to Philly, but I came to visit someone in Philly, and as I was driving by, I could see myself sitting down in front of a TV and all those buildings that you normally see, you know, where the staircase,
the townhomes.
I'm like, this is what I normally see
in the movies.
Then I saw this show on Netflix. This woman that used to help slaves from Maryland and Virginia, DMV area, and bring them to Philly.
Right.
Because Philly was accommodating. I was already free from slavery and stuff like that.
Right.
And so, you know, all these informations just made me fall more in love with Philadelphia. It's just something.
It's
special
like no
about
other place. It really is. It's a tremendous.
Just gives me Nigerian vibe because everything is just raw. So a lot of things, just honestly speaking, Philly also reminds me so much of Europe. The way the buildings are, the tall buildings, you know, like in this city centers.
Right.
You know, these tall buildings where you just have one single
narrow
road. That is Europe 101 for you.
Wow,
the big cities in Europe, that's the way they're constructed.
I see.
So everything about my life, when I come to Philly, it's like I'm just revisiting it, right? I've lived in Europe for years,
got it.
It's like I'm in Paris or I'm in one alley in Caen or somewhere in Basse Normandy or something.
Got it.
So Philly, for me, I'm happy for them for winning. I'm happy that they did well. I just think the basketball team can do better now.
Much better, but they'll do some work. I think they're trying to get a new stadium, so I think that's probably why they're
the stadium is not far from where we're.
It's not, but I think they share it with others, so they want their own facility.
Hopefully, they can make some investment.
They'll do that
on that and some players.
Right. That and players for sure.
They
need help.
I think they picked yesterday or day before yesterday. And I was telling a friend of mine, I said, when I sit down to watch NBA games, Philadelphia basketball team, I don't know what they're called, they always have the lowest scores. Like, the matches are just always dragging. Like, it's like 101, 98. Like, you hardly see people make baskets.
I'll say that they definitely now have a much better football team than they do a basketball team. But
so when it says football, it means American football.
Oh, yeah, American football. Sorry, gotta make that distinction. But overall, though, this place is amazing. Yes, I made the right move by moving to South Jersey, which is close to Philly, but I'm happy.
Yes, I'm. Off of that, when we're talking about young men doing great, I think I saw in the news. I don't know, maybe he's a Chiefs player or Eagles player, that one of the guys there was 18 years old. And he's already won, I think.
22. No, that's 22? The June. Yeah, that's the kid that caught the interception. He celebrated his 22nd birthday that day. Of the Super Bowl, yeah.
And so he's young and getting it. He's young and getting it.
They have a knack for getting talent.
And if you're young and you're getting it, you're already doing something great. And that is what is going to lead us into this discussion that I want us to talk about today.
Okay.
And it's about a 16-year-old boy, I think he's in South Carolina.
South Carolina, right.
That got into a fight with his brother, with some other dude, last year, December or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then he came back this year in January and shot the guys that he had quarreled. He shot two of them, one died.
One died.
Now he's going to be tried as an adult. That means at the age of 16, he's going to spend the rest of his life, if I'm guilty,
a good portion of his life
in jail.
So sad.
People get 100 years for that. Because now he's going to be charged with murder and attempted murder or something. Because one did not die, one died. So
then
minimum of 2 counts.
Possession of firearm.
If you continue counting,
all of the.
If you continue counting the charges, it will not leave this place today. Sure. Because now, where did you get the gun from? Now like a lot of...
A whole bunch of other questions.
Because now, you did not just pull the gun out when the fight was happening. Mm-hmm. So now it's premeditated. Mm-hmm. You had it at the back of your mind that I'm going to do this to these people. Mm-hmm. So you waited till you were able to lay your hands on the gun, then go look for them, then they were shot. Mm-hmm. Tell me. For me, see, except you are a hardened criminal in Africa, that is not happening. I don't think any 16-year-old wakes up one day and go look for a gun to go shoot anybody.
No, that's not the culture there.
So that is not the culture. So I'm not in the best position to talk today. And that is where you come in. What could inform a 16-year-old in the US thinking that is the best way for me to react when I just had a fight with someone? People fight every day. I mean, secondary school, high school, that is what people do. You just keep fighting, right? You
right, yeah.
You do one-on-one, or you guys insult each other, everybody goes, then maybe when there's another opportunity, you do another fight. Mm-hmm. What do you think has informed this kind of decision from this young boy that is going to lose the chunk of his life now to prison?
So, man, that's a very, very loaded question. But to answer you, I'll break my answer into 3 segments. The first part of it is a lack of male leadership in the home. I believe that's a factor that plays a role in the life of young people in this country. There's a lot of single parent households. There's a lot of dysfunctional families. And that's the first part. Second part is the violent culture that we have in the United States. We have an extremely violent culture stemming from what they call as entertainment, but you're programming these children's mind to think in a very demonic and dark way, in not giving them the understanding of what life really is. And so what do I mean by that? Video games, you're shooting people. Music, which they call entertainment.
Talking about
shooting people. Some of them, they've shot people before, have done crazy things, and they're bragging about it online. Then part of that second part is social media and the culture, which is like this herd mentality when it comes to violence. Like, violence is so accepted in this culture, especially at a very young age. And then third is just overall, I think, is the way, how can I say it? Third, I think, is in the way how people parent, how children are
being parented.
There's no structure. And so when you don't, in Nigeria, in Yoruba, they say if you don't train your children in your home, they're going to learn outside of the home. Yes. You know what I mean? That's what's happening. So they're not being trained in the home. So now they're learning these things from the streets. And the streets are disloyal to no one. So now you have a whole bunch of children in this environment. It's only going to produce bad results. Yeah. But I also think the bigger issue is how this is training us subconsciously to look at that young boy as a man. I don't think it's right personally. Yes, he did a wrong thing, of course, but it's subconsciously training people to think of black young boys as men when they're not. They haven't fully developed yet. Because if you can say that he's a man, he should be able to enlist his stuff in the army at 16. He should be able to ride a plane, be president. He's a man, right? No, when it comes to committing a crime, he's a man because you want to subconsciously desensitize us to hate ourselves. Yes, he committed a crime, but that should not mean, I don't think it's right for him to be charged as an adult. Yes, you do have to set some examples in certain ways. I think in his case, the example should just be the punishment, not you announcing that you're trialing him as a full-grown adult when in reality we know he's not.
So for me, I think his reaction when he learned that he will be tried as an adult is what actually makes me think the judge did the right thing. Okay. Because now I feel like he did it intentionally, knowing fully well that nobody's going to try me as an adult, so I will have the easy way out.
Okay.
Now that he now realized that, oh, I'm going to be tried as an adult, you saw the way he screamed and yelled. Don't let us forget, nobody is a winner in this situation.
Thank you.
But the person that died, the mother will never get to hold them again in this world.
That's true.
The pain he has inflicted on that family is never going to go away.
Of course.
A mother is never going to be able to see his child ever again. Because someone felt, I am not 18 years yet, I can do whatever I want to do. They are going to try me as a minor and I'll get the easy way out.
But,
so that is why I said for something to happen last year and he felt he wanted to do it this year, retaliate this year, he has thought about it. Yeah. And that is what the cop premeditated.
But I understand you. I just think that there's an undertone of like there's another.
It's not something you find happening to other demographics.
It isn't.
That is what you're trying to say. Like that, just saying I'm going to try you as an adult is not something you see happening to other.
They have done crazier things.
Yeah.
That's where I got a problem.
Yeah.
You understand? And so that means there's another agenda that's hidden that if you're not observant, you will just think, oh yeah. Emotionally, you will react like, That
is good for him.
It's good for him. But what does that really mean? It means that now others are going to just see a young boy as an adult. And I think that there's a big problem with that. Just like a young 16-year-old you would tell that girl not to get an abortion or to get an abortion. Do you see her as a grown woman? Can you see? No, she's still a young child. And it's still some sort of murder, depending on who you ask. So now what are we saying? You understand what I'm saying?
Murder legally committed.
Murder legally committed. Or because his gender is different. Now let's say he identified as a woman. What will happen? If that boy I identify, because these are the same judges that will say that, okay, it's good for you to change your sex. What if he, at 16, at any early age with your parental consent, isn't it? So why is it that with certain things you can be seen as an adult? I think the minute you start to do stuff like that, you're just desensitizing people to just think, black, you're grown. Period. But if it's a white Caucasian kid that did the same exact thing, the conversation is not even going to come up as whether he's tried as an adult or as a child.
So now that you have led us to this place, that the boy knows he's a black boy, that he knows there is even a bit of, there might be, I'm not saying there might be a bit of bias in the judge's mind. Looking at the world that he grew up in, did he make a wise decision by doing it at all?
Of course not.
So now we can say the judge is doing something wrong. We can't say, let's say, but not conclude that your assumptions are right. As a black child, as a black boy in this country, does it now make sense for you to put yourself in a situation where you will let the judge make a decision?
Of course not.
Exactly.
But it starts from home.
How do we get to that spot where people can understand that do not let people make decisions for you? Be wise enough to make the good decisions now.
Parent, you cannot outsource parenting. I'm sorry, you cannot. You cannot outsource parenting. You cannot do that. I think at the end of the day, my wife and I, we were just having this conversation. She's pissed because something happened in daycare. And she feels like there's a lot of lazy parenting in America because people are just so stuck on working. Now I just dump my kid somewhere and they will deal with it. But when you do that, you have problems like this. Now, okay, he's 14, 16, he's an adult now. At what point, what do you mean? His prick is not even, he probably never even had an orgasm. His brain isn't fully developed yet. Like, what are we saying right now?
It took me some time to understand, to plug into that, what you just said. But I get what you're saying.
Bro, I understand what he did was crazy, but what's crazier, I think, is saying he's an adult.
So if
you did an adult act.
Exactly.
That's what you should say.
Shouldn't you be now treated like an adult if you think you're grown enough to go out shooting people?
Right. Yes, you're being treated like one. You're not an adult. Okay, but you don't have to.
I'm now going to treat you because this thing that you've done is what adults should be doing. But at 16, you felt like you are comfortable enough.
You know what?
So I'm going to go treat you that way.
That way. I get it. I think this is it runs parallel to what a lot of black women say about how the medical industry treats them. How they say because they're black women, they feel like they can take any pain.
Yeah. Threshold for pain.
Can you prove that? No. But that's the assumption that they say they have
I've seen
in the medical industry. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that to me is just like, this kid is not an adult. Yeah, he did something crazy, but he's still not an adult. And people take advantage of things. Did he take advantage of the law and stuff like that and thought that he was going to get away with it? Absolutely. Should you be punished because of that? Absolutely. But I feel like the fear that I have is that this is setting the wrong precedence for innocent young boys now have this perception of being adults, which I think is wrong.
Do you feel bad for the boy?
I do. I won't say feel bad. It's such an unfortunate situation. The society failed him. That's what I'll say. From the parents, to his environment, to the school, it failed him. He didn't learn how to manage his emotions. He didn't learn how to conflict resolution, fight. Even if you fight, that's better. Let's go to the ring. Let's go box it out. Why does it have to be a gun, bro? It does not. It doesn't need to end there. You're not fighting war. You're not in the Ukraine, homie. You here. Why does it have to get that crazy? It doesn't. But you didn't learn that, and when you watching TV, all you see is shoot 'em up, get it back in blood, all these crazy rhetoric, and it's being programmed in your brain. This is just a sad situation. In any way you look at it, to me.
Nobody's winning.
Nobody's winning. The society fucked you up. Your parents fucked you up. Now the judge is fucking you up. So it's like, it's just fuckery all over the place. And it's like, at what point do you win in society? It really depends on the kind of parents you come into this world with and the surrounding that you are brought up in.
I'm just going to say this, and that is what we've been preaching on this platform for a year now, let me say. If you think your parents are not leading you in the right way of things you need to do, get yourself a mentor. A good one. Look at people that are doing a bit better in your society, that you know they're legit one way or the other. Talk to them. Go visit them. Talk to them about your issues and what you want to do. Maybe in your school, maybe as a teacher, maybe as your principal. Let them take you in under their wings and fly with them. Because you are not going to be able to survive this world alone, and this will not be the last time we'll be seeing stuff like this. That is just the reality. If I say this with all of the best things in my mind, we can blame the government. We can blame the society. We can blame the judge, the police, and everything. But we have to know that we cannot give them the option to make a decision for us. And how do you best? I mean, it doesn't mean crazy things won't still happen. But please, let us be in a situation whereby we are in control of what happens to us, at least to a very, very large extent. If this boy's mother has discussed this fight with him, he won't go back to shoot those boys. If the mom heard about it and sat him down and discussed it and said, so what happened?
We don't even know, bro. It could have been the mom that instigated it. You know how many? You think I'm joking?
I don't know. No. Like, I'm not.
Let me put you on. Like, okay. Seriously.
Yeah. I'm listening.
That's
why I said you take the lead.
In New York, right? Yeah. There was a story of this young man. He lived with his mom. The mom asked him to buy cigarettes. He just came back from work. The mom asked him to buy cigarettes. He was like, no, I'm too tired. I don't want to do it. Mom got pissed. Then she comes back, shoots him in the hip. Yeah. Because he didn't listen to her. He's like, you're in my house. And he's like, no, I pay half too. Bro, like, because you have parents, don't mean you have good parents. Sometimes the parents are the ones instigating and telling you to do crazy stuff. Go get me cigarettes and liquor. And he said, yo, I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to, you go get it for yourself. The boy stood up for himself and then got shot. You know what? The police came, they arrested him. They said, oh, your mom said you was trying to hit her. In East New York. This happened. So why am I bringing up that kind of story? I'm bringing up the story because we can't rush to judgment. The same way the judge is just saying you're an adult. No, he did something wrong, but he's not an adult. You don't know his circumstances. You don't know what kind of demons he's fighting, what kind of mental issues he may have. You don't know any of that. There's no innocence for black men anymore. And that's what this kind of shows me. When I look at the undertones of this situation, this is just telling the viewer to desensitize yourself to black men.